Hello guys, my name is Ivy Gaki, the host of Ivy Gaki podcast. Na tumewaletea episode 3. Najua umetumiss na sisi tumewamiss sana. Ensure umesubscribe pale YouTube, kwa YouTube channel yetu, umelike, umecomment, tupate feedback yenu after umeona hiyo episode 3. Na leo tuko na guest wetu na sitaki kuongea mambo mingi kumhusu. And here is our guest. Hi.
Hi.
Mambo vipi?
Salama sana. Vile tu umeambiwa. I am the guest, Billy Mwangi, the abduction survivor and senatorial aspirant huku Embu County.
Now Billy.
Yeah.
Watu wamekujua the year 2024.
Yeah.
After a certain incident ili happen.
Yeah.
Before tuingie kwa hiyo mambo, unaweza tuambia Billy Mwangi amesomea wapi, amelelewa wapi, ndio watu waweze kujua?
So, thank you for the question.
Okay.
And I'm privileged to be in this podcast.
Wow,
because not everybody has managed to be hosted here. So may God bless this podcast and kuombea ikuwe kitu kubwa more than this setup in the coming days. As per your question, jina ni Billy Mwangi. Mimi nimelelewa hapa Embu, nimezaliwa hapa Embu level 5. Nimesomea pale Lions Primary School kutoka pre-unit all the way to class 8. Then nime-escalate to secondary school where I studied at Moi High School, Birore. Alafu I pursued my degree pale KCA University, where I graduated with a degree in criminology and security management / forensic studies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kijana amesoma huyu.
Nimesoma.
Manze. And now before tufike kwa story ya abduction yenye ili happen December 2024, what were you doing online? What content were you sharing online ndio uweze kujipata kwa hiyo incident?
First of all, before my abduction, I used to be an activist. And being an activist, it normally requires you to fight for the people, to correct the government. Whenever the government is doing an issue or a problem, then you're correcting it in a positive way, bila kutumia matusi ama cheche mbaya. So I've been on the forefront to advocate for what is right. I've been in the forefront to demand justice for my people. Why watu wa Embu, why watu wa nje. I've been on the forefront as a brigadier of advocating for human rights, which is so crucial in our nation. So personally, I've been an online activist, and I've been calling out the government to stop all these atrocities that have been going on. And I believe now that's where the government saw that I am a big threat, and they started monitoring me, monitoring my moves, monitoring my activism relationships, and that's when now they abducted me on the 21st of December 2024. Nikiwa kwa kinyozi.
Uko kwa kinyozi?
Yeah.
When ulikuwa unafanya hiyo ku criticize the government, kuna siku uliwaifika ukaona ni kama siku moja itakupeleka mahali kama hapo kwa abduction?
Personally, sijai kuwa na hiyo nia ama hiyo fikra ya kudhani nitakuja kuabductiwa. But I've been seeing them on TV. In fact, my friends before were abducted. I can recall the likes of Kinabili the Goat, the likes of Osama Otero, walikuwa quite vibrant before wanunuliwe na serikali. Walikuwa quite vibrant pale Twitter, and they were my friends. And so mimi sikuwa na hiyo fikra ati nitakuja kuabductiwa as a result of my activism on all my social media platforms, hata na Twitter peke yake, on Facebook, on X, and on TikTok as well. So sikutegemea ati nitakuja kuabductiwa, but ndani yangu nimekuwa nikiadvocate for what is right and to fight for my people. I think when I was born, it was something that I took upon me as a responsibility. Whenever I'm seeing my people suffering, my people being shot, my people being abducted, my people wanabomolewa manyumba zao, I talk on their behalf just to make sure they have a better life.
Kwa post zote umefanya pale Twitter, Unafikiria ni post gani ilifanya ukuje kuabductiwa?
Personally, I think it was on this vivid day that I corrected the government regarding to the finance bill 2024.
Okay.
And being a Gen Z, we saw that enough is enough, imetoka, and that hiyo bill ikipita, it will come and tax our mothers, our fathers, vijana, will end up even not producing anything hata kwa mashamba yetu, because when you produce, ukipeleka kwa market, you are taxed.
Okay.
Everything was taxable, everything was increasing. And so I saw that maybe it's because of that activism based on Finance Bill 2024, na bado based on the abduction that were used to be done before they came for me. So I think those two, they correlate on my abduction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before the abduction, were there any warning signs that you were given by anybody, like mtu akwambie wewe kijana, hiyo kazi unafanya wewe itakupeleka pabaya, na mtu wa serikali alikuja kukuona ama anybody? Personally
no, but I've been getting comments from people saying that Billy, legeza kenye unafanya, just wait for 2027 kuje mtoe hiyo serikali. But you know, I can't just be silent and watch my people suffer. Na nimenyamaza, then what will I be helping them with? If everything I see on TV, everything I meet in town, I just remain silent. No, there's no way. So personally, me, I just treated them as an nonsensical thing. Okay. And I kept doing what is in me and what I'm championing, which is advocating for good policies that will favor the wananchi.
Wow. Yeah. Tuende kwa hiyo siku ya abduction. Can you take us through what happened on that day?
So personally, I treat it as a very emotional thing to me. It brings me a lot of dark flashbacks. And it was on a Saturday whereby I had to rush to the kinyozi before I go back home and watch a football match. I'm a big fan of Chelsea, and on that day Chelsea was playing Manchester City, and I recall that my dad was waiting for me and he predicted that Man City will win that game. But I told him, let me first go to the barber shop, ninyolewe, nikae mtanashati, nikuje kwa nyumba tuone mpira tumalize, na tulikuwa tumebet 200 na yeye. So I did all my house chores, nikapiga shower mzuri hapo, nikavaa nguo, and I decided to the barber shop in Embu Town pale Shakahola. Nikatembea, nikafika town, I greeted some people, nikachukua nduthi all the way to Shakahola. And vile nilifika, after paying the mtu wa nduthi, niliingia ndani ya kinyozi. Pale kinyozi naitwa ni kinyozi ya mtu maarufu sana, najua kunyoa, naitwa Brayo. And I saw a flock of people. Kila mtu anataka kunyolewa because you know it was during the festivity season. And kids, wazee, kina mama, everybody wants a good shave. Wengine wanapakwa dye, wengine wanapakwa chemical. And first of all, your baba has done an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
Being shout out to him. And so after hapo, the baba called Brayo, he told me that I told him that mi naona watu ni wengi. I think I don't have time to wait until everybody mwenye kwa kwa laini amalizwe. Let me just go back home. I'll come on Sunday. Okay. So he told me, Billy, please, you are my good friend. Don't go. Nitakurukisha laini. Because sitaki kukosea. We are friends, tumetoana mbali. Just sit outside there. After huyu nitakunyoa ndio uende. I know you are very busy man. Kamwambia ya. Nikaketi hapo tu nje. I took my phone, bado niko Twitter, pilika zangu, kuscroll as usual to kuangalia if there's anything the government has done that I ought to correct. And first of all, I didn't notice that there was a filter, a white one, ilinipita tu immediately. Kumbe ndio ilikuwa inani monitor.
A filter.
A filter.
Uh-huh.
I treated it as a, you know, as just an any other car that's just passing. Kiasi hata dakika mbili hazikuisha, a double cabin car, a big one. I think it was colorless or white one. I don't quite recall well, but it's within the public domain. Ilifika instantly, na 3 heavily builded armed men with masks on their faces, they walked out. The co-driver, the 2 passengers who were at the back, they're all cops, I believe so. They walked and they grabbed me. Initially, I thought they were grabbing my neighbor because I've never done any crime since I was born. I've never visited or even been booked in a police cell. I'm quite a disciplined man and I normally follow the law. So from there, they grabbed me. Initially, I thought I was a, you know, bonge la mtu, lakini kumbe
Kumbe ni kanyasi.
Kumbe kulikuwa na wengine nyuma wenye wako zaidi yangu. And I was grabbed. Sadly, nikaingizwa kwenye double cabin at the passenger seat, whereby I was sandwiched between 2 heavily built armed men. And immediately nilikuwa na sweater, walitoa hiyo sweater na wakararua, and they tied my eyes. And immediately I was handcuffed. And I remember that nobody aliongea wakati nilichukuliwa on that day, because people feared their lives, na watu waliogopa that naweza ongea nipelekwe Sayuni, because they all came out with their guns. Hata mimi ningekuwa one of them, ningenyamaza, because you know kuna ile uoga unakuanga nayo, and sikupenda kwako. But vile nilingizwa and I was sandwiched na nikafungwa macho, nikawekwa pingu, gari ilitoka mbio sana. And I recall that state I was like this. Nikaambiwa I bow down my head na nisiongee, not unless they ask me any question. So one of them, nikamuuliza mmoja tu, because I was quite nilikuwa tu na ile consciousness ya hii ni nini sasa, why am initially I thought this is an abduction, because there's no way someone can be arrested and you are tied up in your eyes. Pingu ni sawa, lakini there's no way you can be tied up na unaambiwa usione mbele. You bow down your head. So initially niliona this an abduction case, this is not an arrest. I asked one of the abductees, one of the abductor, the captor, nimefanya nini? Akaniambia usijali, utajulia mbele, but wewe omba maombi yako ya mwisho, because ile safari tunaenda, you might not go back. And I remember I cried in that car. Nililia hivi. Sijailia hivyo kwa maisha yangu yote. Unless wakati nilikosea mama yangu, nilimvunjia thermos kimakosa.
Can I cut you short?
Yeah.
After sasa wamekuchukua pale na double cabin, kulikuwa na watu hapo nje, mali ulikuwa umekaa kwa kinyozi?
Kwa kinyozi it was full of people. Just like I've said, watu waliogopa.
Hawangepiga nduru.
But niliona wengine wamejaribu kupiga nduru, but there is nothing they have done. Gari ilipotea ikatokomea at a very high speed. But there were others out there, wale wa Meru wanachana jaba hapo, which I give them a big salute. They raised up their voices saying, wewe mnafanyia nini hiyo kijana? But hawangefanya anything, because those people were armed, and wangefanya anything to anybody who tried to prove that he was a hero to rescue me inside that car. So mimi nililia kwa hiyo gari, nikiambia Mungu wangu usinisahau, hizi ni nini tena nimepitia, hizi ni nini napitia. I've been a very prayerful person. I'm a God-fearing person. I normally go to church, ACK St. Andrews Stadium, iko pale Dallas, pale chini tu ya Shakahola. And I remember I cried and prayed to God niweze kuona kesho. Because ukiambua hivyo na mtu ati uombe maombi ya mwisho, it shows that they can do anything to you.
Sure.
So gari ilienda ikaenda, tulifika majio ya usiku. Because hata ukifungwa macho, you can tell whether it's day time or night time. And I could also hear some crickets in the background. Niliingizwa kwa room, sikujua ni wapi because macho yangu ilifungwa. And this is where the sad story starts. Now for those who are watching, you might cry with me as well, but this is a sad thing. Niliambiwa nitoe nguo yangu yote. Na vile nilishukishwa kwa hiyo gari, nilipigwa maslaps mingi sana. Unajua ushaipigwa slap mpaka ukasikia masikio
joto.
There's that hissing sound.
Yeah.
And nikaambiwa nitoe nguo yangu yote. Nikamwambia hata ya ndani simniache nayo. Wakasema huku si kwa mama yako. Nikaingizwa kwa room. Nikaambiwa nilale chini uchi wa mnyama. I was handcuffed on my right side like this. Na nikaambiwa nitulie hapo. I remember convincing one of the captors that please, mimi nakuwa na allergy ya baridi. At least nipe kasweta kangu nijifunike kidogo. And immediately, even before I had finished saying those sentiments, he came back with a whip, akanidrash vibaya sana huko nyuma. Up to today, the scars are still there. It's like every time I take a shower, whenever I see myself on a mirror, inanikumbusha zile nilipitia. But I thank God I'm here. So in those days, sikujua ni asubuhi, ni lini, ni saa ngapi. Nilikuwa napigwa every day. Every day kuna mtu alikuwa anakuja ananipiga na ni hapa tu always. I was trying to block myself, huku bado
Nanyanyoshwa.
kuna scars za hiyo siku. In fact, I had a scar here ilipona. And nilikuwa naulizwa, who is funding you? Why are you so much into kutetea wananchi? Why are you so much into correcting the government? Who do you think you are? Nikawambia, I'm just an ordinary person who cares about my people and who's championing for better lives out there, for people to be treated well, for us to follow what the law is demanding, that once, if there is something bad that has been done to you, there is a due process for you to follow, so that mwananchi asiumie. I told them I'm not being funded by anybody. It is out of my own will, something that is in me. And they left. So I stayed there kujisaidia. Sorry, I have to say this because wacha niongee nitoke.
Sure.
Kujisaidia, nilikuwa najisaidia kwa ka small kasuku. Nilipewa kasuku kadogo hapo. And nikaambiwa hiyo ni haja kubwa na haja ndogo. And ikijaa ni wewe unaenda unaosha. Ni wewe unaenda una scrub. So you are being forced to do something that you have never done in your life. Scooping up your thing, washing up that basin and going back with it to where you were. Kukula, you're only eating breakfast.
So you are not alone, eh?
You are not alone. Breakfast. Asubuhi the other food unangojea kesho time kama hiyo asubuhi. So I remember even when I came back home I lost 10 kgs in a span of 17 days. So what about if ningekaa hapo mwezi? Singekuwa nakaa karatasi. And tulipigwa daily. I could also overhear because huko unaona na jirani yako, but you could tell there were also other young men with you in that locality. And it was sad. But I couldn't tell that watu wa Embu wananitetea huko nje. Watu wa Embu ninawapenda sana. They actually going to the streets saying no Billy, no peace and justice for Billy Mwangi, which was brigadiered by Honorable Kitonga Mukonji, who I actually adore in what he does. Anafanya siasa safi and he is actually my idol in terms of politics. So during the day of release nikakujiwa. Again nilipigwa
on that day.
And I lost consciousness. Nika faint too. For the first time in my life I fainted. I've never fainted. And kwa hiyo pilika nilinyolewa. Wakaninyoa by force. Kama mimi sijisikii. I don't know what was the intention ya kunyoa nywele yangu because I love my hair. Hata unaona nimekuja podcast na niko tu sawa.
Niko sawa.
And nikaekwa kwa gari and consciousness yangu ikarudi. Nikaona niko kwa gari, I've been tied up na nimefunikwa macho. Nikasikia tu niko kwa gari inasonga. Kulikuwa na very sharp headache. I remember my brain veins zilikuwa zinapam. And gari ilikuwa inaenda. Ndio one of the captor akarealize that this young man is actually awake. He has regained his consciousness. And he told me that we kijana unaenda nyumbani leo. Lakini tukikupata bado unafanya hizo vitu, we'll make sure we deal with you and we kill you. So wewe ndio unajua how you will respond to what we tell you. Kaambia mimi sitarudia hiyo tena. Nirusini niende nyumbani. One of the captor pale mbele because I could tell ako pale mbele because of my ears. Akaniambia kijana uko na fare? Nikamwambia hapana, mlichukua simu zangu. By the way, they took my phones and they took my money which was inside my pocket.
How much?
It was 5,000 shillings. And nikamwambia mimi sina fare, mlichukua simu yangu. Hata before niseme mlichukua nishaekelewa kibao. Kaambia sawa. Gari ikaendelea. Tukafika. But I could tell tulisonga sana safari. It was actually a long journey. And nilifika. Nikaambiwa toka kwa gari. They uncuffed me. And nikaambiwa nilale flat kwa nyasi, kwa bush. I was only having my innerwear and my t-shirt ya Chelsea. Because unakumbuka nikichukuliwa nilikuwa niende kuona game kwa nyumba na my dad. So nikaambiwa nilale chini. Nikaambiwa hii gari ukisikia imetokomea wewe amka enda kwenyu. Nikasema ni sawa. Nikalala chini. Ikiwa hivi gari ikatokomea, nikaamka, nikafungua. Hata before I moved, I knelt down. I did a prayer ya 5 good minutes. Nikaambia Mungu, "Oi, asanti for helping me get back my freedom." Si wengi wanashikua na wanarudi. I cried, I prayed to God. Na nikaambia Mungu, mimi sijui hapa ni wapi, but nisaidie nipatane na Samaritans wenye watanisaidia, wanivalishe nguo, wanilipie fare, wanipeleke stage na nirudi home. So nikaamka nikatembea. So I was asking myself, guy, niko wapi, ni saa ngapi na kuna baridi sana. So kwa pilika nikitembea tu nikiambia Mungu wewe nisaidie. Nikapatana na main road. Nikajaribu kusimamisha manisa magari.
Na sasa umevaa inawea na t-shirt.
Na t-shirt. Simama. Everybody is assuming me because they either thought I am a madman because of how I looked or I have bad intention. Mimi ni mwizi. So hata mimi ningekuwa mwenye gari singesimama at that hour. So nikitembea tu pia nikapatana, luckily God after hearing my prayer aliniletea watu kwa barabara. Nikapatana na watu wawili. A man and a woman. I believe they were couples, if not brothers and sisters. I asked them, poleni kuwasimamisha, mimi niliibiwa. In fact, I was very confused. Mimi niliibiwa, nimedropiwa pale kwa bush. Please, nisaidieni na simu, nipige kwetu. Initially, they also thought I'm either a madman or a thief. And so, they didn't give me their phone to make a phone call to my parents. But what they did instead, I asked them, okay, if hiyo ni ngumu, nisaidieni kujua niko wapi, na junction ama town center, ni wapi niweze kuchukua gari, ni abiri, niweze kwenda town. They told me uko Nyeri County, to be precise, Gatito. Ndio nikashangaa bana. How comes I found myself here? And nikawambia asante na nikawambia town center ni wapi naweza pata gari. Ni pale tu, hata utatembea sana 2 minutes and you are there. Nikawambia asanteni. I walked with the same innerwear and t-shirt. I met another person kwa njia. Akaniambia kijana, ni nini? Nikamwambia mimi niliibiwa, nimerudishwa, nimetupwa huko kwa bush. Nikamwambia please nisaidie hata na kitu ya kuvaa. He gave me a trouser because aliniingiza tu kwa shop yake hapo, akanipatia trouser. Nikamwambia asante because shop yake imepakana na nyumba yake. Ni wenye tu watu wako na nyumba na kaduka hapo kando. So nikamwambia asante sana brother, asante na shukuru sana. Nikamwambia, akaniuliza uko na fare? Nikamwambia hapana, mimi nimeachiliwa. Kwani ni wapi? Ndio akakumbuka, what, you are Billy Mwangi? Hey my friend, umetrend. Hata leo kuna maandamano kubwa sana Embu kama hautatoka. Nikamwambia mimi sikujua, mimi ndio nimereleasiwa and I'm so confused by the way. Hiyo time ungeniangalia, I was a very confused person. So he gave me 1,000 shilling. Akaniambia enda ile town center, chukua gari, fika Nyeri town. Sasa from there you'll be okay. Nikamwambia asante. Nikaenda town center, nikagojea taxi. Aliniambia by then ni saa 9 ya usiku. It was 3 AM in the morning. Aliniambia ni saa 9. Nikashangaa. Nikaingia, nikagojea gari. I stayed there for like 20 minutes waiting for a taxi or any other car ama matatu. Luckily taxi ilifika. Nikaingia nikauliza Nyeri town because I feared for my life again. Maybe ni abductors wamekuja nichukua tena. So nikauliza ni Nyeri town? Ingia. Nikaingia. Hata hatukukaa 10 minutes drive tukafika. Na kufika nikatoka. Nikamwambia mimi fare niko na hii tao. Dereva akasema una pesa ndogo? Nikamwambia mimi sina pesa ndogo. Niambia weenda vizuri, mimi sina shida because fare ni 20 bob. So nikashukuru, nikajua huyu ni Mungu tu ananisaidia all through. Juu ile maombi niliomba pale. Nikatoka. Nikasema mimi niko na njaa sana. Kwanza niingie kwa cafe. Mpaka hiyo cafe naweza kupeleka saa hii nikuonyeshe ni wapi. Nikaingia, nikaketi, nikaambia waitress because she was a lady. Nisaidie na chai, samosa 2, sausage 2 nikaletewa hapo. Kwa pilika yangu ya kukula, I saw myself on TV. Nikashangaa. I've never imagined myself naweza ikuwa kwa TV all my life. I saw myself, nikaona vile watu wameandamana Embu. Nikaona mpaka Gitoga Mukunji ndio anaongoza maandamano. But even the waitress hawakuwa na copy, huyu ni ule kijana ako kwa TV. Nyuma yangu there was a Gen Z akaniona juu ya t-shirt yangu, akakuja akaniangalia very suspiciously. Akaniambia, wewe ni Billy Mwangi? Akamwambia, keti chini. Buda, unaona wewe ndio uko kwa TV? Mwambia, yep, ndio naona bana. We abu, acha nikuonyeshe na simu yangu kwenye umetrend. I looked, I even saw my father crying. Nikashangaa hizi vitu zote zimetoka wapi? Nilishtuka. So from there, that person even paid for the bill. Akaniambia, juu nasikia unatetemeka, wacha niende na wewe nikubaie jacket. Tukaenda, it was at 4 am. Tukaenda, akanibaia jacket, akanibaia mask ndio nijifunge nisionekane. Maybe the captors are following me still, because I remember nikiambo hapo chini nikiwa lie down, waliniambia niende straight kwa nyumba. Nisipitie kwa mtu because they are following me. And so akanipeleka, akanibaia jacket, akanibaia mask, akanilipia mpaka fare ya kutoka Nyeri town hadi Embu. He paid for me na nikaingia kwa gari ikaanza safari. But kwa hiyo pilika ya safari ilikuwa every time I was looking behind kuangalia if I'm still being followed or traced by anybody. Because nilikuwa nakaa backbench. So gari ilifika, tukafika Embu salama, I thank God. I alighted the vehicle. Nikapandia kale kampando kapale Full Gospel pale kwa choo. Nikasimamisha nduthi hapo, nikamwambia mnipeleke kwa nyumba. Huyo mtu wa nduthi alikuwa ananiangalia in a suspicious way. Akisema, I think wewe hapana, wacha tuende tu. So tukaenda, nikafika hapo home, nikatoa hiyo pesa, nikamlipa 50 bob. Nikaingia kwa nyumba. Nikapiga gates. Nikapiga gates tena. Nikaona ni kama mahali afungui gate. Ndio nikashout hapo, Mom, ni mimi. My mom hata asikie hivyo. She came crying. That was the first time in my life seeing my own mom crying. Sijai taka kumuona akilia because mimi inaniuma sana nikiona my mom crying ama my parent crying. She hugged me warm sana. My mom hata hajaini piga warm hug kama hiyo.
Hiyo siku.
I remember while she was crying, akini hug, all our neighbors, they came to our gate. Walifurahia, wakaona Billy amerudi. In fact, I was so weak. Kaambia mom, kwanza tuingie kwa nyumba, msitoe hapo nje, mimi sisikii poa. Tuingie kwa nyumba unipe kitu ya kukula. She gave me chai. Nakumbuka nilipewa hata uji na kamkate. Immediately, in fact my dad ndio aliita majirani wote akiruka akisema Billy amerudi. Billy amerudi. Kila mtu alikuja kwetu, everybody. Hata wenye wajaika kanyaga kwetu
wakakuja.
So immediately my dad said, huyu kijana anaweza kuwa amefanywa vitu mbaya. Let's go to the hospital. Tukaenda hospitali. Past Muratari on the way to Kiritire. There's a hospital pale. Nikahudumiwa. And I want to take this chance to again thank Gitonga Mukunji and Maureen, Mami Mwega. She came to the hospital physically. They saw me in that hospital bed. They did a prayer and they addressed the media. saying how my state was and giving a brief to wananchi that Billy has been found alive and he is receiving treatment.
Wow.
And so later on, I also would love to thank Gitonga Mukunji and give him his flowers.
Okay.
Because after they came to the hospital, they did a mega rally, Pale Silent, celebrating that Billy has been pronounced alive and in hospital, and he's under medication, and that's the good thing. That's the good news. And they did a prayer. In fact, aliongoza kwa maombi, kushukuru Mungu, and also take this opportunity to thank watu wote wangu wa Embu.
Okay.
Nawatolea kofia. I salute you guys so much and I love you so much. Watu wa ACK Old Stadium, watu wa PCA pale Majengo, watu wa kanisa zote, Deliverance, gani ya Korino, everyone. You guys, your prayers zilifanya nirudi. Because tukiwa huko ndani, we were thoroughly beaten and tortured. Ni mateso sijai kusudia. I've been seeing them on horror movies, but I didn't know such acts can happen to me. And other days kulikuwa na watu, those who we were abducted with, wanakujiwa, I don't know where they were being taken. Either they were being taken to be killed or to another locality. And up to today, hawajawai toka. Sidai sikia wametoka. In fact, ni watu wa Embu, led by Gitonga Mukunji, walifanya nitoe my other boys who we were abducted with. Bernard Kavuli, Peter Moteti, Kibet Bull, and his brother Ronnie Kiplagat. It is because of you guys nilifanya turudi. If it were not you guys, sijui tungekuwa wapi. But that's my special gratitude and thankfulness to you guys. Na mbarikiwe sana, because you are the people who made me come back. You are the people who also rescued others who we were with in Comunicado for 17 good torturous days that we were held there. So it was a sad thing. And mimi abduction ni kitu siwezi taka hata my enemy, my greatest enemy apitie.
Okay.
Even my friends, even anybody that I don't know, even a stranger, singewahi taka. Because ukiwa huko ndani, you have something that is called the fear of the unknown. You don't know what will happen tomorrow. You don't know what will happen next week. You don't know what they will do to you. So that's what I call the fear of the unknown. You might be killed. You might be tortured. There's something they might give you to eat that will alter with your consciousness. Kama hiyo chakula ilikuwa inatufanya tukae kama mazuzu. You are like, ukiambiwa fanya unafanya, like you're being controlled, like a remote. So it's something that alters every system in your body, and you'll have to do what they tell you to do. So that's my story based on abduction.
And Billy, do you think the demonstration that were made in Embu Town, did they make any difference?
The demonstrations that were held in Embu Town, they made the biggest difference. Led by Gitonga Mukunji.
Okay.
Because hizo maandamano ndo zilifanya nirudi. If it weren't for that maandamano, singerudi and haingenisaidia kurescue hao wengine. Kumbuka hao wengine hawakutetewa na watu wao manyumbani. Kumbuka hao wengine hawakutetewa na wanasiasa wa kwao. Because wanasiasa wa kwao, they are affiliated with the government. Sadly. And so that's why I'm giving you guys the flowers that you demonstrated peacefully, bila kuvunja mali ya mtu, bila kuibia mtu kitu lolote, and you made sure that Billy came back alive, and you made sure that Billy was back to his home place and to his parents.
Okay, it's a very emotional story. Hey, Billy, you've gone through a lot.
Sana. At a very tender age. I thank God that it may happen at this tender age. Na because sidhani kama any of the sort will happen again in my future. Really.
What advice would you give to those young people who use social media to criticize the government or to express their opinions? What advice would you give them?
My advice is you should not relent. Keep on keeping on. And don't fear. You see, kama umezaliwa na unakusudia kuwa a cameraman, go by your passion.
Sure.
Do it. Even when other people tell you that Buddha camera person haipangi kazi ya ujinga, don't listen to the naysayers. Do according to what God has impacted you and your life with. So my advice to all those who are activists, continue doing your things, but do them with the respect. Do them with passion, and do them peacefully, without insults, without threats, without bad speech. Just do them respectfully and advocate for what is right and the policies that will favor the Mwananchi who daily are losing their lives, who daily are crying upon this government.
Now, let's now shift to politics and leadership. We have been in so many rallies with you, and you've declared that you, in 2027, you'll be vying for the senatorial seat in Embu County. What inspired you to join politics?
This is something that has been in me ever since, even before my abduction. Even when you ask my parents, whenever news inakuja kwa TV ya saa 1, ya saa 10, ya saa 3, ya saa 7, mimi nilikuwa kwa runinga watching. At least I be conversant with the current affairs that is happening within our republic. And whenever I see people crying, manyumba zimebomolewa, sijui Gikomba imechomeka, Embu kumeenda vile, Embu kumeenda hivi, ni kitu ilikuwa inaniuma sana. Pesa imepotea, scandal imetokea, ni kitu bado inaniuma. And that's why I had to take my phone and type and tell the people, no way, we can't allow what is happening to continue. This is not a daily routine. We have to change this. And so it's something that has been in me, and it's something that has motivated me to pursue politics upon my life. And being an activist, that's something that spearheaded my political journey. It spearheaded and brigadiered me craving to be a politician. And not only a politician, but a leader. Because there's a difference between a politician and a difference between a leader. Because politicians, they give about empty promises. Leaders, they lead. They tell people what they are going through. They are able to address the issues that are impacting the Wananchi. And they are able to come with solutions to help them regain back the energy that has been lost for those days that they were been crying and demanding for better life. So I believe the activism before I was abducted spearheaded my political crave.
Why did you choose to vie for the Embu senatorial seat specifically? Not kutaka kuchukua MCA ya MP. Why the senatorial seat?
Because I feel there is much interest and a big vacuum left in the senatorial seat. This is not something that has come into my mind as a result of abduction, but even before my abduction, it's something I've been spearheading in Embu. That there's a big vacuum in the senatorial position. And you could see even the money which is lobbied from the national government to the county government. You know, we can't get someone who's able to account for those cents, who's not able to oversight the current governor, who's not able to bring about what's called transparency, to make sure the money allocated for a certain project has done what it needed to be done, and that no amount of money that was lost as a result of that certain project, and as well that no amount of money has been lost in the county government offices. And if there was if there was money that has been allocated in county government and imepotea, then the same person needs to tell us pesa ilipotea kivipi, nani alichukua, and who's accountable to the pesa kupotea county yetu ya Embu. So I saw there was a big vacuum in the senatorial position, and I think because the movement has been about Gen Zs, na Gen Zs tunaumia sana kwa ground. Mimi nimesoma, sina job. There are so many Gen Zs, young people, millennials, the youths wamesoma Embu. I have 2 friends wenye wamesoma na wako na degree kwanza ya actuarial science. Hiyo kwanza inafanya mpaka akili ibust. Wanauza mayai town. So it shows you the level of unemployment in Embu County is at its peak. That's why you see cases of suicide, people committing suicide, depression, na bado wizi, because huyu youth man anataka kujiprovidea, lakini at the same time hana hiyo uwezo, hana kazi, atatoa wapi pesa? But I don't advocate for them to go and exercise atrocities za kuibiana. It shouldn't be done. The same county government should bring things or projects or rehabilitation centers or maybe industries, factories, hata mijengo. It will help them, hata linda mama, hata kazi kwa vijana. It will help them bring something to the table, to them and to their families. So that's what has spearheaded me to vie for the senatorial position in Embu County as I am. Personally, I'm not after targeting of individuals. Just like I've told you, mi hufanya siasa safi, because I remember Moi used to tell us siasa chafu, maisha chafu, siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. Just like I've told you, there's a big vacuum that is in the senatorial position, and that's why I am vying for that seat. But as per your question, if I was to be asked, I'd give it roughly 2.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
Okay, by God's grace, if you happen to be the senator of Embu County come 2027, what change would you like to see in Embu County?
First of all, you should be conversant that a senator kazi yake si kujenga vitu. Huyo si mtu utaenda umwambia aweke barabara. Huyo si kazi yake. Hizo ni kazi za governor na member of and MCs. So as a senator, incoming, God willing, I tend to bring about what's called lobbying of funds from the national government for different projects in Embu. Kazi ya senator, hapo ndio watu wengi wanashindwa kazi ya senator ni gani. But people are craving to be going for the senatorial position, but they don't know the roles of a senator. Just like I've vividly told you, oversighting, accountability, transparency, etc. Ni mtu anatengeneza budget atuwe pale kwa Senate chambers. Ni mtu pia anasaidia kuimpeach watu. So, as a senator, I would lobby funds from the national government to the county government and make sure the money that is presented to the county government by the governor inafanya kazi yenye imekusudiwa kufanya without any sumni ipotee.
Okay.
Because that's where we get to lose billions of shillings allocated annually in Embu County. Just like we've seen on TV juzi tu that kuna allocation tumeallocatiwa ya budget ya 2026 to 2027. Now definitely Embu imewekewa pesa. We need to know as a senator, hiyo pesa Embu imeallocatiwa inatumika kivipi? Hii constituency pesa yake ni ngapi? Imetumika kivipi? Mwenye ameiba, kama kuna mwenye ameiba, he needs to be arrested. He needs to be brought to book. We need to know who are the cartels, who are the thugs inside our county government offices. That I don't know if umeweza kutembea Mbeere, Mbeere North and Mbeere South. My heart goes to everyone who's living in there because the situation there sickening. It is so sickening. Barabara hakuna. Yet kuna pesa zinalofutiwa kwa hizo barabara. So you wonder what's the senator doing? Maji hakuna. So sad. So sad. Stima hakuna Mbeere North and Mbeere South. Even in areas huku juu hakuna. So you wonder, ile pesa ililetwa kwa county, kwani ilienda wapi? Ilikuliwa na nani? Ilifanya project gani? So it's quite sad that we are losing millions of shillings and perhaps billions in Embu County. And that's what has made me go for that seat, just to bring the change, to make sure every coin helps every person. 1 shilling, 1 person. Kila mtu afaidike na pesa yenye national government imeleta kwa county government. If ni pesa ya hospitali, I make sure, I don't know if uliona juzi Ishara, the status of Ishara.
Yeah.
Una pesa inafaa ijengwe hiyo Ishara. Ilienda wapi? I was personally there. Peaceful protest in Ishara demanding that hospital iwe of high caliber. Facilities zipandishwe. I'm sad even seeing that the mortuary ya Ishara hiyo wakati haikuwa inafanya kazi, so the bodies were sadly being brought to either Kakuguri or level 5 or even hata zingine zinalala huko na zinaoshwa na maji chafu jamani. So it's so sad. Me personally, I'm doing this for passion because there's no way we continue crying. There's no way I'll still be in my house or stay somewhere and putting a blind face and just assuming that hiyo sio shida yangu. After all, mimi siishi huko. Come on, this is our county. This is not about personal interest. This is about wananchi's interest. Now let me tell those waheshimiwa, msijite waheshimiwa. In fact, that name needs to be removed. Because utaitwa aje mheshimiwa na kazi ya uheshimiwa unashindwa. Utaitwa aje honorable na kazi ya honorable unashindwa. Utaitwa aje your excellency na kazi ya your excellency unashindwa. So wananchi ndio mabosses. They are our bosses. Wao ndio wanafaa wa dictate ni nini wanataka. Wananchi akikuja kuambia mheshimiwa tuwekee lami, weka lami. Mheshimiwa hospitali iko na shida, enda hapo, angalia shida ni gani. Don't just be someone who gives empty promises and you call yourself a mheshimiwa.
Yeah.
But I'm glad 2027 tuko kadi. Tuko na list ya wengi tutaondoa.
Manze, I have seen very many young youths who are joining the political world.
Yeah.
What message do you have for them? Because I know sahi wanaambiwa wewe una pesa toka, like wana discouragewa na wale wengine wako na pesa.
First of all, I'm also a victim
Of the same.
In terms of what we are going through as young able aspirants who have different leadership ambitions. First of all, I've gone through intimidations, discouragements from people. Wengine wananiita mimi katoto kadogo. Wengine waniambia Buda, uko na pesa bana. Campaign inahitaji pesa. Senator ni kitu kubwa.
Okay.
In fact, I want to tell them, hakuna kitu kubwa na hakuna kitu kidogo. MCA, senator, governor, urake hizo viti ni viti za kusaidia mwananchi.
Sure.
There is no big seat or small seat. And this is to tell the young people, please go for those seats. Hizo viti hazijaandikwa jina, hazijaandikwa umri, hazijaandikwa skin complexion, hazijaandikwa height or weight. Go for them. Even those who are enabled different, wanaitwa disabled, but I normally love to call them enabled different. They are human beings.
Sure.
And they are God's blessings. Go for those seats. Let nobody tell you una mguu, una mkono, una macho, una magoti. Go for those seats. Do what God has given unto your life. Do it with passion. Go for those seats and let nobody discourage you. In fact, this politics, we are not going by tokenism. I'm personally a person who is actually I can say sipendi politics za tokenism. We need to end it as early as possible because hizo ndo zimefanya to elect watu wabaya in 2022. Some watu wabaya some. And we end up being given 100 shillings. Unaambiwa nichague kama senator wako. Mwishoe unapata uliweka mwizi. Akiingia hapo anarudisha ile 100 alipea wengi. Na anajiongezea za tenders, za projects, za naiba, za mshahara. You see, at the end of the day, he or she is gaining more than ile 100 alipeana during his tenure. So my advice to all young aspirants, go for those seats. Hii movement imekuwa ya Gen Z. We are the people who made this nation reject the finance bill. We are the people who made this nation reject the abductions. We are the people who brought justice and who are continuing to talk about justice for this nation, for the victims who are, casualties of state violence. So go for those seats. Usiambiwe uendi mahali, usiambiwe wewe ni mtoto. In fact, let me give you a good example. Kalonzo Musyoka started as a member of parliament at the age of 24 years. Yali ambao ni mtoto? No. He was a member of parliament at a very tender age.
Yeah.
Kuna wengine wengi, even the likes of Kibaki, they started at a very tender age. The likes of Uhuru Kenyatta, you can follow from his history. The likes of even the current president. The likes of Gitonga Mokonji, alipata kiti ya MP at a very young age. So it shows you that believe in yourself. Not only for even politics or politicians or leaders, even wale wa youth wenye wanaanza biashara zao. Don't let anybody discourage you. You have yourself and your God. Do it and do it for the sake of the people and do it for the sake of changing lives and changing your life.
Very nice. Lastly, Billy Mwangi, how has your family reacted to your political ambitions?
At first, they were quite shaky because they feared for my life again. And actually today they have the trauma because seeing them crying on TV, seeing my dad crying in court, and seeing my mom crying, so ile trauma iko. But I love to echo them because they saw that huyu ni kijana tuliza, tukalea, Mungu amempea kipawa ya uongozi. Let's allow him to do what he loves. And that's a message to all parents, all young parents, ama any kind of parent. Never discourage your son or daughter or stepdaughter or stepson to do what he wants to do. As long as it's inside him or her. As long as it's upon him and his passion to do something, then let him be, let him do what he wants in life. So my parents are now okay. They are actually my number one supporters.
Yeah, I know.
And they actually tell me, our son, hata bila pesa, we believe in you. We believe that you are a good leader. You are someone who can bring change. And I know you've been fighting for the people. You even risk your life. You even risk your life to demand justice. So it seems it's something that is in you. Kumbuka, I was not abducted because nimeibiwa ama nimeibia kitu. I was not abducted because nimefanya any bad thing, but I was abducted because of talking, because of my voice, because of, you know, advocating for what is right.
Okay.
So salute to my mom and dad, wherever they are, and even my big brother.
May God bless them.
Yeah, sure. Amen.
Now, did you think in one way or the other abductions opened new opportunities for your political ways?
Personally, no. It's something that even before my abduction, bado nilikuwa nakusudia kukuwa leader.
Okay.
And I remember I had this conversation with some friends that one day I'll be someone big in Embu politics, and I will come to shape the politics of Embu County, because for long imekuwa neglected, and for long our people have been suffering, and they have been neglected, and nothing happens. Every electioneering period, they undergo the same issues, they undergo the same sufferings. And I've been talking to friends, and you know, even before we decided I should vie for senator, I had a group of people. I visited churches. Tulikuwa na vijana wengi sana pia wananiambia, Billy, tunataka ukuwe senator wetu kama Gen Z. Kuwa senator wa Embu, na usiambiwe uwezi, usiambiwe ni mdogo, usiambiwe una pesa. Go for it. It is in you. Do it. As long as you have us and our support and our God and your God, then go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ivy.
Ai, tuendelee ama? Thank you so much for accepting our invitations. Our audience, thank you so much for tuning in. See you in episode 4.